Hello and welcome to The Vault. I'm excited to share with you tips on how to be a great virtual presenter. How are you going to do to present virtually when you go on a listing presentation? Before we get into those tips, I want to talk to you about Mike's qualities of a great presenter. Because regardless if you're presenting through a screen or at someone's house, these qualities are super important. So we're going to talk about the qualities, and then I'm going to jump into the tips on how to make sure you are great at your virtual listing presentation. So qualities of a great presenter. Number one, 100% belief in yourself. In order to present well, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you're going to say. You have to believe in what you're going to do. And you have to believe in what you expect to have happen. So you have to believe in yourself. When you're going to virtually present, you need to practice in order for you to believe in yourself. So number two, qualities of a great presenter, a highly professional image. Whether you're at someone's house or through a screen, you have to look professional. We all know that. Number three, a positive, upbeat attitude. Are you smiling? Are you going to continue to smile? You need to make sure that your attitude is positive. If you want to be a great presenter, you can't be a dud because no one wants to hear a dud. Number four, when you're presenting to someone virtually or not virtually, you have to take care of your environment. And what Mike is saying here is, who are you listening to? What are you reading? Are you hanging around positive people? That's critical. And when we come to a virtual presentation, what's your environment like? Is it clean? There's no laundry back there, is there? Right, so we'll talk more about that later. So take control of your environment. Number five, qualities of a great presenter, a direct approach. So whether you are walking in someone's house or you're presenting virtually, you need to be direct. No one wants to work with someone who's wishy-washy. Okay? Be direct. Number six, qualities of a great presenter, high expectations that there is no one better than you. You've got to go in and believe there's no one better than you. And when it comes to virtual, you better work on that because they're choosing you and how you look through a screen, a computer screen. So high expectations that you're the only one they're going to choose. Number seven, tremendous energy. Tremendous energy. You have to have energy. People connect with that. And the last point to be a great presenter, endless enthusiasm. You've got to have enthusiasm, especially when you're presenting virtual. So as we're working on our listing presentation virtually, let's think about the qualities of a great presenter that I just ran through. Okay, now we're going to get into tips. Tips for a great virtual listing presentation. Number one, this might sound funny, but you need to be clear on what video conference you're comfortable with. Is it Zoom? Is it FaceTime? You also need to ask the seller what video conference are they comfortable in. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I prefer using Zoom. Are you familiar with Zoom? When we present to you Zoom, I'm going to present my listing presentation on a platform called Zoom. Are you comfortable? Well, no, we have no idea what that is. Well, do you mind if I send you instructions? And then when I call to confirm the appointment, I'll walk you through the instructions. Fair enough? So you have to decide what you're good at. This is super important. Don't forget that. And then you have to ask the seller if they're comfortable at it. If they're not, and they don't know how to use it, we send them instructions. Okay, number two. Your virtual listing presentation, you have a pre-listing package. We all know that. Mike's now cool with us emailing it to them or sending it to them. But what's critical about the pre-listing package right now is you have to have your safety procedure in there. How are you safely going to sell their home in this environment? Okay, number two is your plan of action. In your plan of action, you need to have your virtual marketing plan. How are you virtually going to get the home sold? How are you going to do a virtual open house? What about virtual staging? So make sure in your plan of action, you have how you're going to virtually sell the home. Number three, when it comes to a virtual listing presentation, The number one thing that's most important is the lighting, okay? The lighting. So as you can see in front of me, I have natural light coming in. We want natural soft light. It's a little much right now, but primarily natural soft light. You also want light on both sides of you, to the right, to the left. No light behind you and no overhead lights, okay? They need to see your face. So if you're in a dark area, you need to find some natural light, or another great thing you can do is get a ring light, R-I-N-G light, or even a lamp, but it needs to be set in front of you so you have that natural light in front of you. It's really critical. You don't want shadows. You don't want to be looking at someone and try to present and your face is all dark because they can't see you. So the number one thing when it comes to being great at virtual is the lighting, and you need to work on it, okay? Number two, when we talk about, when we talk about how important it is and what you need to have when you are doing a virtual presentation, your background, meaning the background back here, right? Super important. So you can see that I have kind of a quiet background. There's art there, there's art there. Even better, what you want to get is when you're using Zoom, you can create your own background. Now they have oceans and mountains. I'm not suggesting that on a virtual listing presentation. Not very professional. But what you could do is you can have your company logo behind you, or even better, you can put the house that you're presenting at, get in your car, drive by, take a great picture of the outside of the house, and it can actually be in your background through Zoom. And then you just have a little logo. People love that. So your neutral background is critical for a virtual presentation. Next point, when you're presenting virtual, keep your eyes at eye level, not up or down. So if you're presenting and you're looking down, they feel like you're talking down to them. So keep your eyes at eye level. It's really important. The next point, when it comes to being great at a virtual listing presentation, you've got to watch your body language. Watch your body language. Here's the deal. Effective communication in person or through a screen is 55% body language. They're watching your body language. It's 38% tonality and 7% are the words. So you've got to watch your body language. You have to make sure you're effectively communicating. Know their personality style. Because if you're talking to an amiable, you have to talk a little lighter. But when it comes back to your body language on Zoom or on a video conference, don't move too much and watch your hands. Here's what I watch with people with body language on Zoom. Well, first of all, they're like this and the hand looks huge. Keep your hands down. The other thing is people, I watch them, they're playing with like their shirt or their necklace, and then they're like touching their hair and they're looking at how good they look. No one cares. And the last thing I'll say about body language, and when you're on Zoom or any other video conference, stop touching your face. Watch this. People are touching their face. I'm like, we're in a germ-infested world right now. We don't want to touch our face. The client doesn't want to see you touching your face, okay? So it's super important to watch your body language. The next point I want to bring up about Zoom. So let's write this down. Screen share, there's a screen share. It can be good, but it can also be a devastating blow to your presentation. So a lot of people like to take the comparative market analysis and put it on the screen share so the client, it comes up and they can actually see it. If you're not practicing how to use screen share, it gets very odd because you're trying to fidget and you're trying to figure it out. So if you do choose to use screen share when you're presenting your comparative market analysis, make sure you highlight with a yellow highlighter the number of bedrooms, the number of baths, the square footage, and the days on the market so their clients' eyes can go to that. So screen share can be good. It can also be bad. If you're going to choose to use screen share, make sure you practice how to do it. Very simply, what's even easier is when you email them the pre-listing package and the comparative market analysis, just put one comp on each page, a full page. And then in the upper right-hand corner of the page, just put like number one, number two, number three for each comp. And then when you're there with the seller, you're just like, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, could you please take a look at page 1? Okay, so that point is screen share can be good and bad. The next point we're talking about, dress for success. We said it earlier. When you're presenting on Zoom, they need to see that you look professional. They need to see your smiling face, your positive attitude, as we refer to, and that you're professional. So dress for success. The last tip I'm going to give to you when it comes to virtual presentations is that you must practice, practice, practice. Everyone needs to find a role play partner. You need to do your listing presentation via Zoom. So everyone can see you and they can critique you. It's super important. And they're not just critiquing what's coming out of your mouth, which is super important. They're going to critique the smile on your face, how your body language is, what's behind you, right? So we don't want to have things behind us like dirty laundry, right? No, we want that clean space back there. So practice, practice, practice. You need to find great lighting in your house. You need to go out and buy a ring light if need be. And you need to take some time to master the skill. Because when you do a virtual listing presentation, we want them to choose you and no one else. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.